Alright, so in discussing this strategy, there are certain key components that we have to take note of. The first one is the Asian range. The second one, horizontal key levels. The third one is liquidity. The fourth one is change of character. And then the time frames that we're going to be making use of are the 4-hour and 3-minute time frame. And you can use the 5 minutes if you're more comfortable with this, but I would advise you stick to the 3 minutes and stay away from the 1 minute to avoid false signals. Okay, so right before the Frankfurt Open, the first thing we're going to do is to mark out our key levels. We can use horizontal lines. Now you can also use rectangles, but this might be a bit of a cluster, right? So the first level we're going to mark out is this other block here, because it's was the last buy candle before this massive move downwards. And then we can mark out this breaker block here. Then to the downside, we can mark out this other block, and we can mark out this other block. Okay. Now, the next thing we have to do is scale down to the 3-minute time frame. Now, something really important for you to note concerning this strategy is price must break out of the Asian range to either side. Okay. Unless you're trading pairs like AED USD for certain reasons that I won't start getting into. But if you're trading pairs like Euro US dollar, GBP USD, USD CAD, price has to break out of the Asian range for your own read. Okay, right. So the first thing we're going to do on the 3-minute time frame is mark out liquidity. Now we know that there are different forms of liquidity in the market, but for this particular strategy, I like to stick more to trendline liquidity because that shows me more where the clusters are. Okay, so we marked out this liquidity and we're going to take a look. This liquidity here has already been cleared. We could see there's liquidity resting right below this Asian range, so we could mark that out. Now another liquidity that I'm seeing here is this one, which hasn't quite been swept yet. But the really good thing is you want to see this liquidity resting just below or above a key horizontal level, depending on which direction you're looking at. So essentially what this strategy entails is that we want to see liquidity clear to one side, and then we're going to target the liquidity to the other side. So if it's cleared to the buy side, then essentially we're targeting it to the sell side, and vice versa. Okay, so once we're done marking out all the liquidity that we're interested in, we have to wait and see what Frankfurt or London Open does. And in this particular case, we've met the criteria of breaking above the Asian range, and we've also taken this liquidity. Now you don't want to start going too far and marking out horizontal levels that really have nothing to do with the day. So if you don't see a setup within the framework that you've marked out, you might as well just let it go and come back the next day. Don't try to force it too much. Okay, so now that we've swept this and we're still within this horizontal level, okay, what we're looking for now is a change of character on 3 minutes. All right, so the moment we have that, we take our setup. Now the way that I like to enter, I don't use limit orders. I usually use manual executions. Right on the change of character, I enter. I don't wait for the candle to close. There are no extra rules, but you could introduce some extra rules if you feel more comfortable with that, or you're a bit more conservative. Okay, right, so let's see how this plays out. Now the really good thing about this strategy is if you're not able to catch the first move, a lot of times you can get a retest to the 61% level. In fact, you could even make it your strategy if you're more comfortable with using limit orders for execution. But I would advise that you stick to 1:2 minimum, okay? But if you want to swing for the fences, you could, but personally, I wouldn't advise that. Okay, so we see that the moment price hits 61% level, there's sort of like a continuation in the original direction, and that essentially is 1:2 secured. All right, so let's take a quick look at example number 2. Okay, now remember, the first thing we do is to mark out our key horizontal levels on the 4-hour. And we can mark out this other block here, right? We can mark out this breaker block, although we are already operating within this key horizontal level, the breaker block, right? Now, if you understand multi-time frame analysis, you probably know that on the lower time frame, this is a breaker block, perhaps on the 1 hour. So you could potentially mark that out. And we see that we already tapped into that essentially. Then we could mark out this. Okay, we could mark out this other block here, all right, as potential. But sometimes you could be a bit flexible, because in this area of support, so this area of support here actually coincides with this STB week, okay, sell to buy. So you could potentially mark out your area here. Now on the 3-minute time frame, we're going to mark out our areas of liquidity. So very clearly we can already see our first trend line liquidity here, okay, and then we can see this trend line liquidity forming here right before the open of Frankfurt, right? And we can see even more trend line liquidity down here, and of course we already swept liquidity at this point right before this key horizontal level, so we're not really going to bother with marking that out, right? So we wait for Frankfurt open, and come Frankfurt open, right? So now we've broken, we swept above the Asian high, so that's one criteria that has been met, right? Okay, and now we've tapped into a key horizontal level, right? Now this happened very quickly, but you could actually see that if you're present when this happens, probably due to a news release on GBP USD or something, if you're present when this happens, you could actually take your trade at this point where price changes character, okay, and go for your 1:2. And yeah, that's pretty much that, right? Anyway, thank you guys if you've watched up to this point. Be sure to check out our market structure series. It's a playlist on our channel. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for our weekly Forex forecasts and analysis. Thank you all, and have a great year. Bye.